up, guys? Welcome to the very first episode of ABL Time. I don't know actually what this is or how it's gonna be, but I'm gonna talk about basketball, mostly ABL basketball. Not stuck with the name. I mean, if you have some suggestions, type down in the comments below. Feel free to chime in and we'll see how it goes. But now, let's start. Now, since I really don't know what I'm doing here, what I'm gonna do is just list 10 of things I liked and didn't like from the previous week in the ABL. And that's the first weekend, just gone by, 3 games. I'm gonna list 10 things I liked and didn't like, and we'll see how it goes from there. It's something I want to build on, just want to talk to everyone about basketball in the ABL, just want to see how it goes. So the first thing I want to talk about in the ABL, well, last week we had games between the Fubon Braves and the Macau Black Bears, Mono Vampire and the San Miguel Ala Filipinas, and the Fubon Braves again against the Kuala Lumpur Dragons. First thing I'd like to talk about is Lin Chia of the Fubon Braves. Okay, now, first of all, for some people might not be that familiar with Lin Chia. The guy is a legend. He's well known throughout not just Chinese Taipei, but in China as well. It started out in Chinese Taipei in the Super Basketball League. He was a legend there, won titles, won scoring titles. Then he eventually moved on to play in the CBA. There was a huge dispute about how he was going to get there, which team he was going to, until he eventually ended up with the Zhejiang Guangxia Lions. And he stayed there for a decade. He was one of the best players on the team, obviously a legend on the team. I think he knocked at least 5,000 points in the CBA. That's not an easy feat. He was one of the most recognizable faces of the franchise for 10 years in one of the best basketball leagues in Asia. Now he's in the ABL. So in this offseason, Lin Chia's contract ended with Guangxia, so there was a big fuss about who was going to sign him. Was there going to be another CBA team to sign him, or would he return to play in Chinese Taipei, or would he play with one of the ABL teams? And eventually it was the Fubon Braves. So Lin Chia came into the season hyped up as one of the best players coming in, and rightfully so. He's a legend in the national team. He's a legend in league play. Why would you not expect him to succeed here in the ABL? And that's what we saw in the first game. 21 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists. Just the way he moves, you see him once he gets the ball. Every time he moves, you can tell that he's different, he's special. So similarly, second game, 14 points, 4 assists. Didn't get the win for the Fubon Braves though, but what a start this has been, as expected from Lin Chia. Okay, so moving on, we'll talk about the team that beat Lin Chia and the Fubon Braves this weekend. That's the KL Dragons. The Dragons, you have to realize that they came into the season ranked by the ABL in the power rankings as 9th in the league. In a 10-team league, the Dragons were expected to be 9th. Fubon were up at 2nd. And when they faced off in the very first game, Dragons took it right to them, 91-90. So let's take a look a bit at what the advantages were. And one of that was just how well prepared Jamie Perlman came into this game. Now, we already know Jamie Perlman is a high-level coach. He's coached in Australia. He played in Australia. You know that he has that know-how. For me, the most glaring thing, the second thing I like, are his baseline inbound play. And you saw some beautiful plays set up by the KL Dragons in this game. Another thing that I really liked about the KL Dragons is their star import, K. Davis. Now, Davis, once you take a look at him, you see that with the slick hairs parted onto one side, 2 black wristbands, it's just not something that you're used to seeing from a star player. Not to judge just by his looks, but once he plays, he's just a smooth shooter. He made 5 threes, he took 15 threes, but still he gets into his own rhythm. He just moves well without the ball. Ended up with 23 points. He did a good job distributing as well with 6 assists, but Cade is going to be one of the better players in the ABL just because of how well he shoots the ball. Moving on, next down the list is things I really felt iffy about Ala Pilipinas. We're not trying to overreact in the first game, but after watching Jason Brickman for the past, let's say, 3-4 years, Jeremiah Gray started his career extended his career in Thailand with PEA, and after having seen those two guys play for a while, it kind of looked weird having seen them play in that kind of role with Ala Pilipinas. For Jason Brickman, he's the assist king. I'm going to say he's the assist king of the ABL right now. I think Xavier Alexander overtook his position as the all-time assist leader, but he's still that guy. He played in 26 minutes. He attempted only 1 shot and got out only 4 assists. 4 assists is a good number, but he kind of really looked out of it. He barely brought the ball up himself. He barely looked like he was dictating the tempo, and he just didn't look casual in this San Miguel Ala Pilipinas offense. Maybe they're still working on it. Of course, there hasn't been a lot of time to get together and work things out. Hopefully it works out for them, but it's just not the Jason Brickman that we know. Over to Jeremiah Gray. He was a scorer for PEA, and maybe that's the role he's in. That's not the role he's trying to play with Ala Pilipinas, but 9 points, 3 for 10, only 1 of 6 from 3-point land. I just think that he can be utilized a bit differently, and that might affect how much better San Miguel can play. But there's 25 more games in this season. For Alap, it's not just about Brickman and Gray. We have to talk about their import signings, Khalif Wyatt and Nick King. Now, obviously, not the best debut performance for both players. Khalif Wyatt, only 12 minutes played. He went 2 for 3 from downtown. Nick King, he got 21 points, but it took him 19 attempts from the field. It's a good thing that he got to the line. He was 13 of 15 from the line, but both players looked like they were playing at a different kind of pace. They were bringing up the ball quite slowly, and it took them time to really get their offense going, and it just contrasted so much with how Mono Vampire running up and down the floor. I don't know if that's the way that San Miguel Ala Pilipinas are expecting to play this season, or if they're just trying things out and they still haven't figured it out, but it didn't look smooth, and I think there's gotta be some changes made. Okay, now next on the list, let's talk about an import that I think I was a little more impressed with than King or Wyatt, as mentioned. Charles Garcia, okay, he took a loss to the Dragons, maybe was a bit outplayed by Artino, but I was really impressed with what I saw, what he was able to carry for the Fuban Braves. 23 points, 12 rebounds in the first game, 16.9 rebounds in the second game. What I really liked the most was how he takes advantage of the gather step on his way to the basket. He does it just at the brink of how it seems like a traveling violation, and you can see Will Artino and Cade Davis just kind of like calling for that. But yeah, he gathers it so well. He has such length that he really takes advantage, and he gets to the basket so easily because of it, and gets to draw the foul. And I think the Fuban Braves are really liking here. Of course, they won an SBL champion with him, but seeing it work in the ABL, I think they've got to be really assured of their decision. Okay, now moving on. I think we're down to what, number 9 now? Yeah, we're at number 9. So let's start first. This is the Shackton a fool moment of the ABL early in the season. It's just the 3rd game. It was in the game between the Kuala Lumpur Dragons and the Fuban Braves. Now you see here, Nicholas Tem, he gets the ball, he's ready to pounce, and he's dribbling with his left. He thinks of going to his right. I know that's just not the way to do it, man. And yeah, everyone knows, he knows it. He's apologizing to his coach, but too little too late, gets called for the turnover. But let's not be too hard on him. The rookie, he's a young rookie for the Dragons, and give him credit, he did really, really well in this game. He had a couple of threes. He had a moment where he stole the ball, ran up the court, and shot a three in transition. That's a lot of confidence for an ABL rookie. He had a blunder. It'll work.